House Telvanni is one of the great houses of Morrowind and are based in the cleverly named Telvanni district and administrated their Vardenfell lands out of Sadrith Mora. Now, unlike the previous houses we've covered, Telvanni much prefers to keep to its own. They have a heavy focus on magic, and this has led to them kind of disregarding others. More often than not, they didn't interact with the other houses or guilds outside of their lands, and they even rivaled that of the Imperial Mages Guild. Now, their ideals and beliefs differ as they seemingly research their topics and discussions, whatever they want to do. It has made them isolated, egotistical, ambitious, and highly intelligent. Now, House Telvanni control a lot of land. However, it's somewhat isolated, with the only city that is accessible via Silt Strider routes being Sadrith Mora. The rest are only accessible through a boat, and they even refused to join the Ebonheart Pact during the Alliance War, and they opted to remain neutral during the Tiber Wars, only agreeing to the armistice orchestrated by Vivek after Redoran and Dress agreed to it as well. Telvanni lands predominantly reside outside the mainland Morrowind, with Sadrith Mora, Tel Branora, Tel Fear, Tel Uvarith, Tel Urin, Tel Voss, and Tel Mora being on Vardenfell. There's a lot of tells there, obviously. Port Telvanni is outside of Morrowind as well, as it lies on an isle northeast of Morrowind. The only major inland settlement was Firewatch, and I said was for a reason, and we'll get to that later. Even during Imperial rule, the only place with any Imperial influence was that of Wolverine Hall in Sadrith Mora, which really ingrains this attitude towards outsiders for Telvanni. They didn't really like them, and many Telvanni counselors didn't even care enough to attend council meetings due to their isolationist belief. However, recent events have forced Telvanni to kind of step out of this tradition. When the abolitionist movement appeared, Telvanni remained strongly and firmly defiant, as they believed it was within their ancient Dunmer rights to own and have slaves. Archmagister Gothren of Tel Arun then also refused to recognize the Neverine as Horator of House Telvanni, and then was subsequently killed, which persuaded the rest of the counselors to then back them. And whether or not the Neverine actually became Horator is unknown. Then there was the minor event called the Oblivion Crisis that killed untold numbers, and in 433 of the Third Era, the Telvanni mages attempted to close the portals on Vardenfell, but couldn't close them all. But then, even more devastating was that of the Red Year, which saw the complete annihilation of all their settlements on Vardenfell. They joined in on the rebuilding of their settlements with House Redoran, but then the Argonians invaded and raided their last intact stronghold of Port Telvanni, as Firewatch kind of faded into obscurity at this point due to Port Telvanni's rising influence. Thus, their only remaining one was Port Telvanni, and it got sacked. With Port Telvanni sack, the survivors fled on the Pride of Tel Voss, but it was found shipwrecked in Winterhold. Ironically, one did survive the onslaught, and this was Brandel Telvanni, son of Limdren Telvanni, and they were found and raised by Argonians, hence the irony, and they were raised as a Brand Shay in Black Marsh. Brelna Meyrun is also a descendant of House Telvanni as well, and she currently trains in the College of Winterhold, There are a few holdings in Vardenfell, which the fates of the Telvanni nobles are unknown, but that's because we just don't know. Now, then there is also Neloth, who relocated to Solstheim prior to the year 5 of the 4th Era to Tel Mithryn, another Tel. But he does plan to return to Vardenfell once his research concludes. Funnily enough, relations between Raven Rock and Tel Mithryn are cordial due to Neloth really ignoring Raven Rock, and then the Redoran settlement kind of ignoring them as well. Now, while House Telvanni was once strong, it was their own traditions that caused them to collapse. They ignored the outside world, but it didn't ignore them. They suffered one tragedy after another, and their magic wasn't really enough to stop the Oblivion Crisis. Their isolation cut them off from the world as they predominantly settled in eastern Vardenfell, and the Red Year wiped that all out. Their support of slavery made them targets for their revenge-seeking Argonians who sacked their last settlement, leading to all the death and destruction of the members of their house. Yet, the house does live on, and they are either depleted or at an unknown strength, because the known survivors seem either unwilling to help or don't care at all. The settlements on Vardenfell, we don't really know if their survivors are actually alive, because no one has really gone to check them out. And then Brelna just kind of wants to learn magic and finds her family to be judgmental and overly critical of her, which in turn has made her have a lack of confidence. Thus, would that make her any decent of a leader, or even interested in leading? That is unknown. Brand-Shea is interested in his past, but doesn't exactly appear to possess leadership skills. He was just a merchant in Riften. Not to mention, he has the potential of being arrested for an attempted frame on him by the Thieves Guild, but even if this happens, he will only be there for quote-unquote a few days. And then lastly, there is Neloth, who we do know is a counselor, but it seems like he is just too absorbed in his research to really care. While he does want to return to Vardenfell after he concludes his research, when that is unknown, so whether or not he cares enough to try to bring back his house is unknown. Overall, in conclusion, it seems that House Telvanni's fate remains to be seen. They've suffered a lot, and it really has to do with their own inability to really care. Their downfall is connected to themselves. Their unwillingness to break tradition and break past this isolationist belief has kind of made them collapse. When they wanted to do something, all of their research, all of their dedication to whatever it is they were trying to do just simply wasn't enough, and they weren't able to adapt and overcome. Whether or not these survivors, or if they're even interested in ruling, or if they're survivors that we don't know about, can turn the fate into something successful is unknown, and that remains to be seen, and hopefully we will find out later. But that is all we have today, everybody. That is House Telvanni. I don't know what I'm going to name the title of this video yet. I was going to name it The Isolation of House Telvanni, but it seems more like it should be proper to name it something else. But I'm not too sure yet. We have 2 more houses, though. I guess 3 if we do House Sageras. I'm not too sure. There's not a lot of information about that. But regardless of which, it has been fun covering this. Doing the Houses of Morrowind has been actually a lot of fun to do, so I'm really happy it was recommended. I believe it was recommended by Grandmaster Joffrey. He requested the House Veteran, and this kind of kickstarted this whole thing. So you can thank him for this, because this has actually been a lot of fun to do. And overall, I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in the next video and in the Discord chat. I did find out recently that the link in the Discord in the description wasn't working for the Discord chat, so I'm gonna put a new one in there. Let me know if it works or doesn't work, or I'll just create a fake account and do it. But I prefer not to. So someone do that, and I hope to see you all in the next video and in the Discord chat. Peace. If you enjoyed, please like this video because it really lets me know you're enjoying this content. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. The links are right here for you to click on, and the Discord chat link is right here as well. And overall, I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.